Adsync presenting the prestigious Real Estate and Business Excellence Awards 2K23, telecast partner Z Business. It's time for us to get into the business, to get to know a little bit about the whereabouts of our industry. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our esteemed, distinguished dignitaries who shall join us here on stage for this panel discussion. Can I please request you all to sit tall and please join me in welcoming our stalwarts, because we are here to begin with the Conclave. Ladies and gentlemen, what are the trends in MMR real estate sector? This evening, the grand big name with our panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, gives me great pleasure in welcoming our managing partner, Realty, Dr. Advocate Harshul Savla, here on stage, who shall moderate the session. As we always say, it's all about the youth of today. And I'm really excited to get to hear from Harshul. As always, Harshul, we are so overwhelmed to have your amazing presence. And of course, as our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, always says that India is very young and we need to truly trust and rely on the youth of today. Ladies and gentlemen, बहुत shukriya, मुझे कुछ तालियां तो सुनाई दी. I'm truly excited and thrilled. Wow, the room is all of a sudden full. आप सबका तहे दिल से स्वागत है. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. May I please request you all to kindly take your seats. It's time for us to welcome a very renowned gentleman. He's an author, philanthropist, and more than everything, ladies and gentlemen, the developer investor. He knows where to invest, where to suggest people to invest to have the best returns. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the ever-smiling gentleman, the one, of course, who knows how to win hearts. Let's put our hands together for Agnelorajesh Athaide. Woohoo! आप तालियां बजा सकते हैं दिल से. Ladies and gentlemen, gives us great pleasure to welcome our lovely lady. She's the founder of Graviti Properties and co-founder of Vibe Services Private Limited. Let's welcome the very stunning and supremely talented Nidhi Srivastava. Hi Nidhi. So happy to see you. Thank you so much, Nidhi. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue the applauses and put your hands together for J.S. Augustine, Group CEO, Transindia Group. Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, and it gives us great pleasure in the next few minutes. Sir's on his way. Thank you, sir. And I'm going to please kindly request Harshul to do the needful of welcoming once again Dr. Srinivasan R. Iyengar, the director of JBIMS. Wow, you're here at the right moment, sir. Kya baat hai? Ladies and gentlemen, from the University of Mumbai, Dr. Srinivasan R. Iyengar, sir. Wow. Before we get into the spectacular awards, the room is full, so I'm going to put my hands together for all of you. Woo! Come on, ladies and gentlemen, the utmost spectacular Adsync presenting the Real Estate and Business Excellence Awards. Telecast partner, Z Business. Let's take care of our business. Truly, a hearty welcome to one and all. Harshul, thank you.
Thank you. What a pleasure. MMR trends. Real estate has been in news in these last couple of years, especially post the pandemic. And I'm glad I have a very diverse panel where we'll be dissecting each segment with respect to real estate and discussing various trends. So I'll first start with Nidhi. Global capital with regards to real estate has always been something which has been a wish list for all developers, whether it's through the form of banking or whether it's through the form of consumers. Since you practice a lot with global consumers, what is their take on MMR? What is their take on Indian story with regards to real estate and vice versa? What is the take of consumers when it comes to investing in global markets and which are their preferred markets?
Harshul, I think this is a very beautiful question. So there's a lot of things which are happening in this space. I think the global investor, or I would say an Indian investor, has become very informed Earlier, probably India was a place where it was a very sought after investment. However, the boundaries have gone beyond and the investments in the global market have started. In fact, it is vice versa. Indians who are seeking properties, not only abroad locations like UAE, Portugal, Greece, UK, Canada, but it is also NRIs now who have started looking into investing in the Indian market because of the fantastic economic changes which are happening in Indian market, Indian real estate market. So there is a big upscale of demand which has come, and while we are going to discuss a lot on the luxury side, I think that's predominantly because of the growth of the millionaires today in both the places. I think the world is shrinking. It is bringing investors back and forth. There is a lot of consciousness because of a lot of platforms like OTT platforms, the digital on means, and I think it really looks very encouraging in probably years to come.
Quite interesting. I think clearly, so flow of capital is both ways. The Indians are looking at NRI markets and the NRIs are looking at the Indian market. Very interesting times we operate in. What a pleasure, Agnelorajesh ji, to ask you a question. Villa housing, vacation homes is suddenly the flavor. You've been doing this for a long time. What are the buying behaviors? What are the trends you are observing? Because now every developer virtually wants to dabble on this market, which was suddenly a lull before the pandemic. But the way it has picked up, plotted developments, even without putting up a villa, people are, rushing to buy, and a lot of prominent developers are entering that space. So what are your observations around that space?
So it's a very interesting space today, because what's happening is the first preference of any real estate investor is to buy a house with the ownership of the land. A place जहाँ पर वो खुद का पेड़ लगा सके और छत पर खड़े रह के खुद की पतंग उड़ा सके. That's possible only when you have a villa or a house with the land. Now you can't afford that or think about it happening in a city like Mumbai or a Delhi or a Chennai or Bangalore. But outskirts of all these cities are now developing in a very nice way. The challenge once upon a time used to be, if you buy a house which is 1.5 to 2 hours away from the main city, maintenance used to be a big challenge. But thanks to pandemic and the era post-pandemic, motorable holidays are the new flavor of the day, where people don't want to catch a train or a bus or a flight. They just want to get into their car, and within 2 to 3 hours of traveling distance from Mumbai, they want to go and enjoy holidays in the wilderness, in the open zones, in villas, in bungalows, independent bungalows, etc. So today you can own a bungalow and enjoy it yourself, and at the times when you are not using it, that villa becomes a earning member of the family, where you start having people who are professionally managing your villas and generating rental returns for you. Now the returns are so good that many a times the returns per month exceed the EMI that you need to pay for that particular villa. So that's interesting. In real estate, any opportunity where you can own the land is a lottery for your next generation. Because what is a villa today, 20 years down the line, it will get into a vertical development where all the plot owners will get rich dividends for the land that they own. Like 45 years back, 50 years back, nobody thought that Jew would be the Jew it is today. So people who bought for 45 to 60,000 rupees, a 1,000-yard plot with a 1,200 square feet structure, they encashed it anywhere between 20 crores to 80 crores on that 1,000 square meters or 1,000 square yards of plots. So that's the kind of wealth a house with land can achieve in comparison to an apartment or in comparison to any other format of real estate. So I think the flavor is great, the flavor is fantastic. The youngsters, the millennials are buying it in plenty because every weekend they want to be breathing well, enjoying oxygen, and that can't happen in a high density city like Mumbai. So just go to Shahpur, just go to Kasara, Karjat, Alibag, Lonavala, and you get fresh breath of air where you can come back on a Monday and become double productive than what you were when you left for that place.
Wow, so many points over there, especially the one around land. I did observe that, 20 years or 25 years back, a bungalow at Khar probably was selling for 50 lakhs. Today the same sells for 50 crores and a floor plate sells for 15 crores. So it's quite fascinating what land and FSI can really do for the valuation. Over to you, Augustine. I have a question principally from SRA perspective, since you have experience over there. It is often remarked that the pace at which SRA is developing in Mumbai, it will take more than 250 years for Mumbai to become slum-free. And now we have suddenly a huge Dharavi redevelopment project which has come up. It has got the final clearance which it wanted from the government. It's on, and you have a strong player backing it up. And that'll also clearly pave way for a lot of SRA projects in future also. What is your take on SRA for MMR? Because that clearly differentiates. I mean, when your plane is landing and what you see in and around really changes your perspective about the city. So what is your take on the SRA for MMR?
Before I joined Transindia Group, I had a different view of SRA altogether. But of course, my views have changed. Clearly, MMR or specifically the Mumbai city, I think we are landlocked and SRA is the only option. Obviously, now the redevelopment is going to kick in because now we are celebrating 75 years of independence. Most of the pre-independence buildings will now go for redevelopment, or buildings which are built around that time have all outlasted their tenure. So there's going to be a lot of redevelopment along with the SRA simultaneously happening. One good thing that is happening right now is the people around have also accepted the fact that these developments are mandatory. In other words, when the whole world is moving forward, when the city is moving forward and everything else is going good, they don't want to be left behind. So now you have, earlier it used to be, people would say SRA will take 10 years, 15 years for you to, you start the process, it will take you 10, 15 years, you keep paying money over a period of a time and you don't know if the project is going to happen. And because there are too many pulls and pressures inside, political, non-political, the NGOs, then personal interest. There's too much, it's more of a human issue. It's nothing to do with the city per se, it's the people issue. So, but now the people have started realizing that they need to now move away from that, get into a good building, change their lifestyle. And that can happen only if you cooperate with the developers. So now we have people coming to us voluntarily and saying, hey, can you do this for us? So those days are gone that developers were chasing slums to find out, if they can do that for you. Now it's the reverse. People have started coming to you and saying, we understand what's going on, we understand the difficulties, we understand your economic feasibility or non-feasibility, both. They are very smart. I mean, we may say they stay in slums. They are as smart as any one of us sitting in this room. And they do all the homework. They are quite aware. They are well informed through different sources. When they sit with you, they understand logic and they will also tell you what is what. So it's a very different ball game right now. And 60% of Bombay is still in slums. So the land really still lies there. And if you want to convert Mumbai into a Shanghai, I think you really need to develop the slums. And the earlier we do is better, and we really hope Dharavi is fast forwarded from all ends. And I think there's a great future. And SRA can also keep your prices slightly lower compared to the other land greenfield projects. So I'm sure it's a win-win for both, for the people in the slum as well as the buyers who will get it at a much better price compared to a greenfield project.
I think a great point over there. If you are approaching the Worli ceiling, can you see the skyline? You feel it's a global city. It's pretty much a dense high-rises, scrapers, and then pretty much as you exit on the either side, and then you are welcomed by a huge battery of slums. So, clearly clearing the slums will pave way for Mumbai to be a global city in true sense, at least from real estate perspective. Dr. Srinivasan sir, it's such a pleasure. I've passed out of JBIMS, with my MBA degree, and sir is the director of that college. We've co-authored a book together on retail. He's extremely passionate about retail. So I'm going to ask you a question about retail. Retail pretty much is the backbone of, it's the pulse of the consumer. Retail trends really tell about, the economy. It really tells about what kind of buying behavior is existent, what kind of splurge people are making, what kind of brands they are looking at. And that is so important because that's a true reflection also from real estate buying behavior perspective. So what is your observation post-pandemic around retail trends in the Mumbai city?
Thank you, Harshul. When you talk about buying behavior and retail, whichever business are you in, if you don't know how to define your value, you find difficult to do your business. Then what is value? It's a big question mark. When you buy for a product, whether you look for value for money or money for value, builders, please take care of it. I'll tell you how the customers behaves. In fact, I can tell you, I have some statistics. When Antalya was built, right, the proprietors, owners of Antalya went to all the way to Sri Lanka to buy the crockeries, the brand called Noritake. If they buy the Noritake from the Japan, the dinner set must be costing 4.5 lakhs. Just imagine how people behaves, irrespective of billionaire to millionaire. Value is value. If you don't know how to define value, again you talk about the luxury, when you talk about how consumer behaves. Another school of thoughts. Few decades before, having a four-wheeler Maruti 800 is a luxury. But today if you say I have a BMW, people doesn't worry about which model do you have. If you say X1, not to be treated the way you are supposed to be having X5. So today luxury also redefined. And now, as a builder, you should know how are you going to play the game. Because customers are ready to spend. What infrastructure are you going to talk about? Today, I am sitting at the Westin, one of the finest property. But if you ask me to give a property, 30% cheaper here, luxury property in this locality at this moment, to reaching from, I left from my place, South Bombay at 4:30. When I reached from Bandra to here, it took 3 hours. Do you think will I pay premium for this location, irrespective of the luxury? Customer will ask. Don't think from the builder's angle. I am thinking from the customer angle. I define value such a way. I look for convenience, comfort. I don't mind to pay premium price. And today the property, do you think is a great property? No. Today if we talk about nowhere in the world, country of India is a luxury to the world. Nowhere in the world you will find Rolls Royce used to clean the roads. Nowhere in the world you will find Land Rover used for share taxi. Nowhere in the world you will find to clean the potatoes using washing machine. Even lassi. We use the product different. Every customer think different. In fact, I have written 11 books. I can keep on discuss, but this is not a place to discuss. Let's hear from the stalwarts of the industries. Thank you.
Such a nice observation. Truly, real estate is becoming a very micro market business. There are millionaires and billionaires in each micro market, and they just don't want to move out. There is a tree behavior, consumer behaving like a tree. They don't even want to shift to another micro market, and this is one of the prime reason. You can reach probably to another country faster, but reaching from Churchgate to Goregaon might take a little longer. So that's the harsh reality. Nidhi, you operate in luxury, and usually there is this notoriousness around marketing. Whenever you see there is a boom in luxury, you label the project as luxury. And real estate is cyclical. So during the life cycle of the project, if the market suddenly turns affordable, the same project is branded also as affordable, and the marketing pitch, usually changes. People make amendments to plans, etc. But luxury is clearly, there is a wave. There's a building in Hong Kong called Opus, where a flat on an average is selling for 10 lakh rupee per square foot. Our top value over here is 1.5–2 lakh rupee a square foot. What, according to you, would be luxury when it comes to residential real estate? Because clearly that is the wave, that is the boom, which everyone is talking about. 1 lakh rupee a foot is a gold standard. Everyone wants to talk, but how to reach there? What is it that consumers look for when they talk of luxury real estate?
A very interesting question, I must say. Yes, the definition of luxury really changes from geographies to geographies and place to place. Harshul, sometime back, I think about a couple of months back, I was just, hearing one news channel which says few statistics like in 2019, the luxury units sold were around 18,150. They said that during the time of pandemic, somewhere around 2020, it came down to about 8,500. Then it said that 2021, it went up till 21,450. And in 2022, you would be surprised that the luxury sale which happened was 65,700 units across India. Now that's whooping. So if you ask me what's the definition of luxury, definitely it's not the pricing. It's about, I think India is getting into a bling, We all are getting into the bling. Now, before answering that question, that what is really a luxury, let me also tell you, India is the third most fastest country in having the millionaire population since the pandemic. 77% is the statistic. Now, if I happen to tell you that because of that statistic, what has happened is the affordability of the people. So earlier, probably having like a shopping complex was a luxury, right? Today, it's about the heated pools, it's about the cabanas, it's about the concierge service. So probably, is it the facility? No, it's not the facility. I think it relates to more of the per capita investable income which an individual is liking to splurge. It's about probably as an individual, if it was only about 25% what an individual was planning to splurge, that may extend up to 40% of the budget now. That's what is luxury. The definition of luxury will vary from economic to economy. It can be different from geographies to geographies. For example, when it comes to UAE, it's all about Cavallis, it's all about Paramount, brands like D. Gracegonas who have come in and they say that it's luxury. For India, it's about green spaces, it's all about these the plunge pools and all of it. So yeah, there is no specific definition, but luxury is something which is like the taste. It's not only the homes, it's all about the cars, it's all about the brands. I think that's the taste which India is following.
Interesting. Rajesh ji, what's the role of brand ambassador for a real estate project? So, you have Bollywood actors endorsing. So, instead of spending on the site, on the product, at times you also see a lot of spend being made to a brand ambassador. Now, comparing to a consumer product or a biscuit or a soap where, probably the buying behavior may get influenced, what do you think personally is the role of a brand ambassador in terms of influencing the buyer's behavior decision? Second, if at all a brand ambassador is to be chosen, what kind of brand ambassador? Should it be an entertainer? Should it be someone from the field, a technical guy? Or who really should be the brand ambassador in your opinion, for a real estate project?
In every business, also like in real estate, customer acquisition has become a very expensive cost. When I say expensive, it does not only mean the lead generation or a site visit. What I mean by expensive is the time taken to sell the inventory by doing the right kind of marketing, capturing the right type of leads, converting them into customers. This country is ruled by two types of stalwarts. One is from the film industry, second is from the cricketing fraternity. So if you engage one of these two people, your project gets talked about and it gets visibility. There is a lot of virality that happens. You become very known to the market. Now, a lot of other factors will depend on the success of your project. But your project gets known without actually spending for the marketing. Like I'll give you an example. A Shah Rukh Khan would charge you 4 crores for a day without his media. What do I mean without his media is the 150 million followers that he has. And the same Shah Rukh Khan will charge you 12 crores with his media. So what basically happens is, I might take Amitabh Bachchan as my brand ambassador, but then if I don't have a budget to distribute that ad to the world through newspapers or news channels or social media, that is an ad only which I see. It's like making a movie for my personal family, nobody else is seeing it. So your ad and your communication needs to get distributed. So today, the influencers have also become creators. So they take your message to the world at a fraction of a cost rather than buying expensive media. Now, who can be the right ambassador? It depends on what kind of a product are you doing. Like for example, I have taken the services of Suzanne Khan on three of my projects. Now for me, she is not only a brand ambassador, but she is a technically qualified person as a designer. A designer is somebody who adds more aesthetics to the project rather than just utilization of the FSI, which an architect does extremely well. So they design the project and make it pretty looking for the audience to buy. So I feel if you want to distinguish yourself from the rest of the people, it is the touch of the artist which will create that difference. It will be that extra feeling that the customer would want to buy that product and be a part of that community. Ultimately, who made your product matters a lot. The difference between a Maruti and a Mercedes is Mercedes, right? I love to say this, that the whole world works for Mercedes without they paying you a salary. Because the dream of every man in his life is one day I will buy a Mercedes. So they are all working hard, earning money, saving money so that they can buy the Mercedes car in their life. Similarly, everybody wants to buy a branded product, and that is the theme of a developed country. It is taking shape in a developing country. So it will matter. In the developed states, in Europe, it is a footballer who brings the attention. In India, it is a cricketer who brings the attention. And lots of times, the profile of the cricketer passes on to the profile of the project also. Like if you have a Rahul Dravid, then it is assumed subconsciously and psychologically by the visualizer of that communication that this is rock solid, this is good, this is dependable. You know, those kind of emotions come out of your decision making abilities. A brand ambassador definitely works well provided you strategize it right and you don't compromise on the quality of the product just because you have a brand ambassador. So there are a lot of people who have really done it well and done it right. The top 3 developers of the city use cricketers and film stars left, right and center, and we have seen that they have gone and become thousands of crores of worth developers. So I think brand ambassador does make a lot of difference.
Indeed. And it's very interesting nowadays the way property consultants also using Instagram to market properties, making reels, and you know, the way they put out their content, quite interesting. Shini sir, I can't resist but ask you, you know, with regards, since we are talking about brands, we are talking about brand ambassadors, and we are talking about aspiration. I really like that statement. The whole world is working to earn and own a Mercedes. So, you know, there are so many brands which have come, you can't even spell them, you can't pronounce them, but people are crazy. I mean, the one who is wearing it, if you ask him to even spell it out or pronounce, he won't be able to. And there is this frenzy, especially post-pandemic, which has been observed. Because people have this YOLO syndrome, you live only once kind of a syndrome. So what is your observation on these trends about expensive brands, you know, selling basic consumer items?
It's absolutely interesting question what you asked. The reason is, I've done a research. I can prove it here also if you want. 90% people doesn't know the brand what they own. They don't know which country that belongs. It's inconvenient truth. Again, I'll repeat what I said. I used to do this exercise even in IIMs. I used to tell them, even I can do this exercise for a second. Don't worry about it. I will tell you the name of the country. Entire participant can tell you which country the brand belongs. Are you okay? I will tell you the name of the country. Don't worry. Right? BenQ. It is, I'm telling you, these are all the brand from Taiwan. Okay? BenQ. Say everyone know which country. I already said. It's from Taiwan. I'm a teacher, right? I'll give answer, then ask question. So don't worry about it. You tell me, just group together. You'll realize the fun of the exercise. Acer. Little loudly, please. Fantastic. There is a brand called BenQ. HTC, which Google makes smartphone with the technology of high-tech computers. Which country from? Don't worry about South Korea or North Korea. Okay? LG. Korea, I said no. You should say that. Why? This is the problem, right? LG. Samsung. This brand from China. Acer. Lenovo. right? Now I'll tell you which country. I hope you must be knowing better than me. Sony. Little louder, please. Fast. Sony. Akai. Louder, louder. Akai. I don't have a time. You have to be fast, please. Akai. Aiwa. Aiwa. All brands belongs to Japan, right? Sony. Again. Toshiba. Akai. Aiwa. Itachi. Mitashi. Cardcopper Waste, 4th floor. Thank you. Mitashi, the brand come from Cardcopper Waste, Bhaveshwar Arcade, 4th floor. 90% customer, because we are all dominated by few years by Britishers. So few decades we know that if we wear English brand, we believe Britishers. Whether it's Alan Solly, Louis Philippe, Van Hussein, no. That is the beauty of the power of the brand, as exactly was mentioned by earlier speakers. And 90% people doesn't know the brand belongs to whom. In fact, it's very interesting. Many of the owners of MG Motor doesn't know which country it belongs. It is the brand come from China. Can you believe? Because people believe Maurice Carriage. If we have a Maurice English name, right? And in fact, if you go to the airports, you will find, because as you said, the fashion come from Italy and Europe. And people, when they go to the airport, they see, wow, this brand is look pretty good. All the brands made in Pondicherry are the products which are made from Chandigarh or Ludhiana. If we say BlackBerry, it doesn't mean that the brand always from the Twinland. It is possible from Mogan Clothing, from Katkopar or Matunga. That's a fact what we talk about. Brand definitely plays vital role, but what value proposition are you going to add? Doesn't mean that if you have a good, it is also perception, no? As per Kefauver definition of luxury branding. Doesn't mean that if you pay premium, the product is high quality. I still believe in India, many people feel very bad. I said, which shirt it is from? They said, it's a premium brand from Zara. People love to say it's a Zara. Zara is a copycat brand. It's a low price brand. But unfortunately in India, we feel Zara is a premium brand. That's why today Zara started the same stores. Now they started Tata brand the Zudio. Low price brand with the same copycat. If we do business in India, definitely brand plays vital role. Brand ambassador too plays vital role, as Rajesh has said very clearly. You should know it is handling that, knife with both the sides sharpened. If you don't hand over the project on time, whoever the cricketer enters the brand, if you don't maintain the quality, it affects the performance of the cricketer. It is also equally, if the cricketer failed to deliver it he doesn't know how to play the balls in the ground, you will have to face the impact on your project also. It happened with even MSD, when he started a project, big projects in Delhi, they sued the case. In fact, brand, celebrity, that's what always says. What is ABCD of Indian consumer? What is ABCD? Indians is all about only one thing, sir. Astrology, Bollywood, cricket, discount. Thank you.
Fantastic. Augustine, so I'll go to the last question before, actually we have a long night forward. And since we've had these conversations around brand, my last question will also be around brand. Normally when you see a shirt, basically a t-shirt, and if there's a tick mark, otherwise which would supposed to be a 500 rupee product would suddenly become a 3000 rupee or a 2500 rupee, because that's the notion you attach to that tick mark, which comes. So has real estate reached that kind of brand premium when it comes to developers, that if an XYZ developer is doing a particular project, there is a brand premium he can command? Or is it still a perspective about the location of the project, the completion of the project, and the look and feel of the project? It's not about the brand of the developer who's doing that particular project. So what is your perspective around that? And I'll allow Srini sir to really give a follow-up on that as well. Or maybe you could start, Srini sir. Great, sure.
Well, real estate is very, I would say very funny, okay? The terminologies that we use, the names that we use, they're all very funny most of the time. So unfortunately, the name and the project most of the time don't have anything to do with, right? the very basic thing in real estate is, one is that it's a square feet, it's a piece of land. You're selling it to someone and someone is buying a piece of land. Everything else in between is only transactional. It's just a process. So the first thing that plays the biggest role is your location, right? Second thing is the perception. What kind of a perception you are able to create? The perception either through the media or through your branding exercise or at the venue, the experience that you give, how well you are able to create a perception. And it's also to do with the emotional connect, right? So what is luxury for somebody may not be luxury for the other in the same project, right? So depending on the customer, you can actually play the whole game and make them believe what you want them to believe. It's a dream, and most of the time we sell it at under construction stage, we sell it to the brochure, we sell it to the video and all of that. So we are typically selling a dream at that point of time, right? Rest everything follows later. Unfortunately in India, we have seen in real estate, the big brands fall, mighty fall, right? We have seen that post-RERA. What really happened was, most of the so-called brands got wiped out. They went virtually, they vanished. So somewhere, brands really don't work as much if you are not able to create it over a period of a time in consistency. So you can pick the names, today you can call Loda, which is a brand, which was not a brand maybe 15 years back. Possibly it was never a preferred brand by anybody because they were not in that segment, and whatever they did, they really had to change 360 degree. And when they did it, today they have created a brand because that consistency with which they have done it, now they're able to get a premium when you say Loda. So there are the Rahejas, right? And unfortunately in our industry, the brands also get split. After some time being very successful, then it gets into XYZ, A, XYZ, B, XYZ, Z. So there is too much going on there, right? So it's all about how you are able to connect with the consumer in that particular location, in that particular price. The best of the brands have done worst of the jobs, right? It's a fact. I mean, I'm sure every Mumbaiker will tell you that. And the most unknown developers have delivered the best of the projects. You never heard of that particular developer, but they've done some fabulous jobs. I mean, you will be amazed. Can people do something like this? So it's very, very funny, I would say. But yes, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, there are a lot of changes. The new brands which are coming, they're more promising because they have less baggage to carry, they're running better. So they're able to look at the market completely different because all the dynamics have now changed. Like you said, like Rajesh said, maybe Shah Rukh Khan, maybe Aishwarya Rai, maybe Amitabh Bachchan were the brand ambassadors once upon a time. But today the world has changed. It's the YouTubers who are able to influence. It's not just the branding, it's now the influencers have come on. So the market is completely changing, right? So every dynamics of the market is changing. And post-pandemic, I think there is like the way we call it before Christ and after Christ. I think world is now divided into before pandemic and after pandemic. So everything is going to change, and I think it's for the better.
Okay. Brand is all about, what is brand? Brand equal to product plus image. That's a definition, I can put it in layman language. And if you want to sell this product to the customer, especially in India, very unique. Don't try to replicate the Western model or European model and you bound to fail. Take my word. I don't want to name the brand here at this moment. I'll tell you the experience what happened. One of the premium luxury brand of jewelry came to India. You know, when luxury products sold, they used to call limited. I'm sure your builder community also does, right? You call only selected by invite. And when people buy the jewelry in India, irrespective of whichever community, religion they are, they used to say, tell me what is that breakup. In jewelry, what is the breakup? They'll say, what is the gold rate? What is the making charge? What is the wastage? But this brand said, no, no, we are a MNC brand. We sell luxury. We sell MRP. I said, that doesn't work. Then this guy couldn't able to convince that there's no, do you know why you pay for it? Then they show the package. You know, the brand. Because luxury product always come with a wonderful package. I'm sure Rajesh must be having in his room 12 boxes. Because people buy luxury product not because of the product, because of the box. Example, if I say, no, Tiffany. Why Tiffany people buy? Because of the satin cloth with the good Tiffany writing lyrics with the golden emboss with the satin cloth. And people proudly say, you pay the price for what you know? Because of the box, because of the brand. But Indian customer very comfortably, humbly says, you keep the box, give only the product. This is what luxury, how they behave, right? Because Indian customers are different. If you want to make in property luxury, I mean, you will have to redefine yourself, you have to recraft your business model, and you can't try to replicate it difficult, and you should know what is the value, and again, you are selling a commodity. And if you want to make it to the brand, there should be a value creation and proper understanding of consumerism, and also understand the locality. The possibility your project will be in South Bombay successful, don't try to granted. Right? The project will be successful in the next locality with the 5 kilometer, then problem will be the challenge. Because if you travel in India, 50 kilometer, people changes, language changes, communication changes, food changes, culture changes. So customization at regional level, micro level. Unless and if we don't do that, your business success ratio will be challenging. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. We had really great insights. It was indeed a masterclass as well as key observations which were made around MMR, real estate and branding perceptions which exist. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I please request you all to kindly put your hands together for our leading panelist and of course our chairperson. But I thought we were going to have some Q&A. Harshul, hello. So amazing having you all here. I thought we were going to have some Q&A. नहीं सर, पोस्ट नहीं होता है. अभी Q&A ही करना है सर. मुझे तो मतलब मैं सिर्फ क्वेश्चंस बाहर सबसे पूछने जा रही थी. प्लीज मुझे कुछ क्वेश्चंस बताओ. I want to know something about, of course, the beautiful sector that we have. So, any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Raise your hands. मैं तो लाई हूँ. Yes, wonderful. So, may I please request real estate world, of course. I don't mind because we welcoming our Bollywood beauty. आप कुछ पूछना चाहें, someone wants to answer from our intelligent panelists. I don't mind. Absolutely fine. So, come on, Harshul. I'm going to please request you all now for a different field to stand and answer, please, just for a few minutes, because we have a panel discussion, we've discussed the whereabouts, and of course, let's have some questions from the audience. My dignitaries, may I please humbly request you all to kindly join us on stage. I'm going to read out your names once again and welcome you here. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who's present here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have the lovely lady here with me, my lovely lady, my crew, who's going to take the microphone to you, and may please, ek baar phir se, I'm going to kindly request for 2 questions from my audience. Come, Dr. Advocate Harshul Savla, may I kindly welcome you here, along with Dr. Srinivasan R. Iyengar, Agnelorajesh Athaide, Nidhi Srivastava, and J.S. Augustine. So, can we have one more microphone? Thank you. And where's my lovely girl who was here with me? Yeah, sweetheart, come. You can take the microphone from them and give the microphone to the gentleman there. I'm sorry, but the chairs are gone, but our spirit is still high. And trust me, when you stand taller, you can answer better. You on your toes, right? Okay, so I'm going to give them the microphone and yeah, please give it to the gentleman. Thank you.
Okay, so great sharing, and great learning. Of late we have seen, there is Mr. Rizwan Sajjan, who's been viral, and he is called the Dubai 1% man, who's from the slums of Dharavi, went to Dubai and he made 15,000 homes. So who's the India 1% man in real estate, that would be known. Right? That was one question. Another question was, a lot of things are moving in the digital space also. A lot of crowd pooling is happening in terms of digital currency and being invested into real estate. Does that really work or it's all in the air? So I have these two questions.
Okay, so in Dubai, the government doesn't build homes. They build luxury homes. Like MMR is a part of government in Dubai, and their homes are the best. That's how the government is there. In India, there is no 1% developer kind of a subject, but Mahara does that job effectively well, and that's how they cater to the schemes that they offer to the audience. What Rizwan did in Dubai is he made housing economical by finance model. You get me? Post payment, post handover payment, and then pay 1%. Your rentals would be more than that 1% of repayment. So that was the model that he worked on. As far as digital currency are concerned, India is yet not recognized it. I don't think so they will recognize it for a long time to come, because a currency which is not controlled by the government is considered as a very dangerous currency, man-created currency. You need to have a government backing the mode of transaction, which is very important. So people who believe in digital currency deal in the digital currency. But in our country, the government doesn't recognize it. It is not considered as legal. So I think it's a long way to go till that happens. But a lot of things are changing. We will see some changes in the coming one decade. For the moment, it's a complete no-no to digital currency.
So I just want to comment once on that point, that 1% which we were talking. Just for an instance, in UAE, the mortgages are not there on an under construction property. So the reason why that 1% man has come up is only because you don't get mortgages in Dubai till the time the property is ready. Only upon a 100% property handover, which is known as a BCC. Once you receive a BCC, only then you are supposed to get a mortgage, and that's the reason why the developers are bound to give like a 1% scheme there.
Also on a lighter note, if you observe the interest rates that we have in our country and the way our finance minister comes once a month or sometimes twice a month increasing the repo rates, doing something like this becomes extremely difficult. Plus any financial creativity that a developer tries to do is often, sort of arrested by the regulatory bodies. So there were subvention schemes like 2080, 1090, etc. And immediately there was a clampdown. So, it's really no creativity is allowed, in the sector. And so far as the second thing goes, I think we are just reaching in terms of technology. These are more conference topics rather than real life situations. Even registration office, the servers go down. So if we are talking digital currency in real estate, it's a very far ask, but I think we'll reach there someday.
Thank you. One more question is here. But this is the last question, Dev Chandwani here. Of course, we talk about the luxury properties and everything. So what is the future of the affordable housing other than the SRAs?
People think that affordable housing, matlab 3,000 rupees per square feet is affordable. That is not the definition of affordable. Luxury is also a very subjective term. If my budget is 50,000 rupees a square feet, 75,000 is a luxury. If somebody's budget is 20,000 rupees a square feet, 30,000 rupees is a luxury. Similarly, Affordable housing means what? Suppose the rate in Bandra is 75,000 rupees. Somebody launches it at 50,000 rupees, it is considered as affordable housing. It is not necessary that affordable housing needs to happen in Mira Road or Nayagaon or Kalyan Dombivli or Panvel. So these are all very relative and subjective terms. Every station that we know of, since Bombay is known by the railway stations, every railway station has luxury properties and affordable properties. Now affordable also happens in two other terms. One is by the size, one is by the price. Some people make such small bedrooms that either you can make a wardrobe or you can make a bed. You can't make both. That is the size of the bedroom. The bathrooms are such that, you really need to figure out whether it is a bathroom. So they make it compact, that is called the ticket size affordable segment. And then there are people who make it affordable even in terms of per square feet price points. So affordable is a very subjective and a relative term. People take it differently in different ways, and affordable is here to stay. So these are the box prices, right? 2 BHK 2 crore mein, 3 BHK 3 crore mein. That kind of system has also started where they are not calculating it on the per square feet basis. So these are all gimmicks that are being played by smart financial brains working in the real estate sector.
I would like to answer that affordable. Everyone has the aspiration. Everybody always have to aspiration better. For an example, entire India was using Clinic Plus. When Dove was introduced, Dove was aspiration brand to everyone. People love to use Dove as a brand, but the pricing which is not possible to buy everybody. When Dove made them into the sachet packet for 3 rupees, 2 rupees, actually today Dove was consumed by more by the lower economic people when they are in the getting wages. Actually the product not meant for the people who can afford, because only thing you will have to reinvent, you have to redefine your business model. If you could able to do it, everybody love to buy a house. Please remember that. If you could able to cater that segment, it became affordable house. Whether you call it a premium or luxury, घर तो घर ही होते भाई. Instead of nobody having single room, if you give, as Rajesh said, it is a house for him. So you have to redefine yourself, you have to recraft, you have to define your values. How are you going to do? Because aspiration, everybody wish to have their house. That is the dream. 143 crore population, this aspiration bound to become increasing day by day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I think it's going to be a little partial if we only give the chance to that particular table, and thank you. They're my favorite too, Danube Properties. So thank you for that. But I'm going to take this opportunity of truly thanking our stalwarts who joined us here today, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Shyam Singhania sir, Nisha Jamwal ji. We have Rekha ji, Bhabhi ji bhi aaj ghar par hain. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया तहे दिल से आप सबके शुक्रगुजार हैं. So I'm going to request one question from this side, because let me tell you, our panelists are very excited. As I told you, yes, once you stand, you have all your energy intact. You absolutely in the top gear. So can we have one question from this side, please? आपको, she's here. तो question नहीं ले, बाद में लेंगे. Okay, so we'll have the question while we dine. Okay, so very quick. Yes, sir. The microphone, very quick, come on. Shyam sir is into the finance world, तो उनके छोटे-छोटे questions होते हैं, so don't problem.
Hi, Nisha. So it's an observation, it's not a question. It's an observation to Srini sir. Sir, you mentioned, and please don't take me wrong, and you mentioned that the habit of the Indians is not to buy the box, when they buy a luxury product. But I slightly differ with you there. There is a small segment of the Indian economy which is being built by our Prime Minister. And I have a couple of friends in this room, who buy the stuff with the box. Rajesh is next to you.
I told you that.
Nisha is there, Ajay Roya is there.
Correct.
So they will buy this product only with a box.
That is true.
Simran is there, she travels the world. So,
sir,
so I'm just making an observation, sir.
No argument, I'll 100% accept it.
At least 1% of India will buy with a box.
No, I'll come to this point, sir.
Yes, sir.
India's HNI population is going to be the population of Australia bigger than that.
I'm aware of that, sir.
They love to buy the premium boxes.
Absolutely.
I am with you, no
Absolutely.
doubt. No argument on it.
I think Nisha's wardrobes are full of such boxes.
All 5 fingers are not same, should not be same. All 5 fingers has a purpose, same like all customers are not same. Every customer has their own requirement. As far as if you know who's a customer, how to target, sky, there is no limit.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. A humble thanks to our distinguished panelists. I'm going to please request my lovely team, Sam, to kindly accompany all of them to their seats, my amazing chairperson and the panelists.